Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, here we go on a rather damp, wet Wednesday, hump day edition of the Young and Norvelle Show here in North Florida. We kick it off. A lot of baseball to talk about. And as I welcome you, I'm Terry Norvelle. We hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later here on the program. I know he's got a lot to cover today. We'll also have a couple of guests coming up at 5 o'clock, as we do every Wednesday. We will take it down the medical route. We'll talk some sports medicine, some injuries, different things with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, our wonderful sponsored segment we enjoy every single Wednesday with Dr. Bates. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Brent Beard around 5:30, I do believe. Brent will cover the world of college sports, a lot of baseball. We're going to dive right into college baseball. College softball gets going really starting tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Their super regionals will kick off depending on which regional. Some start on Thursday, some on Friday. Major League Baseball, Florida basketball. I've got a thought on that with regard to Florida. The defending national champions in basketball, 3-time national champions, they just don't get blue blood treatment. We'll talk about that. The NFL made what I think was a stupid decision regarding the Olympics. We'll get into that. I've been teasing a topic. It's not going to go over real well, but it's what I believe, and I kind of tell you what I believe. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. A lot of times but I tell you what I believe. I'm not one of these guys that sugarcoats it or dresses something up for clickbait, if you will. I've been teasing a topic for several days, and we just haven't gotten around to it. I've got a bunch of reasons why I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are looking at a 6-11, 7-10 type season. 6-11, 7-10, somewhere in that range. And I don't think that's really a reach or a kneecapping, if you will. I think that's where this franchise is at with their roster. I think they're going to win somewhere in the range of 6, maybe 7 games, 6-11, 7-10, somewhere in that range. Before we dive into that, let me catch you up on some baseball. What all's going on? In terms of the Power 4 conferences, their conference tournaments are all going on around the country. A couple of surprises from a couple of the tournaments. Let me throw out a couple that have kind of jumped up to me today. A game that was pushed to today over in Hoover was supposed to be the night game last night, but they had bad weather coming in, so officials in Hoover and the SEC decided not to even start the game between Texas A&M and Mississippi State. They played today, the leadoff game, the first game, and surprising outcome, Texas A&M, they've gotten a little healthy. Texas A&M took Mississippi State behind the woodshed, 9-0 win. Mississippi State, they are sent home. I think the Bulldogs have done enough. They were like 15-15 in conference. I think they'll get in still, but a bit of a surprising outcome. A&M just woodsheds Mississippi State today, earlier in baseball in Hoover, 9-0. Texas A&M probably has to at least get to Sunday, the final day. So they still have a lot of work, but Texas A&M getting one or two of their players back. Keep an eye on the Aggies trying to make a late run and trying to erase that ugly 3-game sweep they suffered at the hands of Missouri, of all people. A&M today, first game in Hoover, over Mississippi State 9-0. Current game going on, game 2 in Hoover. Tennessee is leading Alabama, top of the 5th. Tennessee's the home team, top of the 5th. Tennessee leading 5-2 in a game where I think the winner there probably will host a regional. Tennessee and Alabama 5-2. That's game 2 of 4 scheduled today in Hoover. Game number 3, 30 minutes after the Tennessee-Alabama game wraps up, will be the Georgia Bulldogs making their first appearance in the SEC baseball tournament. They take on Oklahoma, who was a winner yesterday over Kentucky. The Sooners sent the Wildcats home. So Georgia and Oklahoma will get it on after 30 minutes after the completion of the ongoing Tennessee-Alabama game over in Hoover. Tennessee, again, leads 5-2. And then Florida is scheduled to play the fourth and final game of the day, the late game today. Florida-Ole Miss scheduled for 9 o'clock, and that's a fluid, movable first pitch. Obviously, you've got a couple games to get in before Florida-Ole Miss. The Gators were just getting started yesterday when we were going off the air. Florida dispatched of South Carolina, pretty much routine game. The Gators ended up winning, 11-3, I think the final was. Florida really got going by the second inning or so. South Carolina took a 1-0 lead, but Florida kind of took control in the first third of the game and kind of cruised. Got a real nice pitching performance from a couple guys. Did not have to tax their bullpen much. So the Gators are in good shape. Tonight, taking on Ole Miss, I think for sure tonight's winner probably hosts as well. If Ole Miss beats Florida, I think it's considered that Ole Miss will definitely host. And if Florida wins tonight, all bets are off now. The Gators will host if they get a second win in Hoover at the SEC tournament. Florida, if they do win tonight, they will be off tomorrow and will play Arkansas. There's no who wins, who doesn't win. Arkansas is sitting and waiting to open up play on Friday. They'll face the winner of Florida and Ole Miss. But I do think the Gators, if they win tonight, you can pretty much go ahead and start printing up the tickets for a regional in Gainesville, which would be big news. Big news for the Gators. Other scores of note, another score from yesterday that really surprised me. We talked about it a little bit, but the Miami Hurricanes, they actually had turned the corner the last couple of weeks and started playing better baseball. They got whitewashed yesterday in the ACC tournament, 12-2. The biggest story from that 12-2 butt kicking for the Canes was California did it. The Cal Bears were clearly the worst team in the ACC. They were 9-21 in conference play. Cal beat Miami yesterday 12-2. And don't look now, but Cal today, earlier, in an early game, round 2 of the SEC, California beat Wake Forest. So California's still alive of all teams in the ACC. Wake Forest is a good baseball program. They play really good baseball. Okay, one other score of note from area teams. Over in DeLand, where Stetson is hosting the Atlantic Sun, North Florida, UNF, I'm showing, let's see if I can get a refresh on this. North Florida has been trailing North Alabama all game long. Let me see where they're at. It was in the 5th last time I looked. Yeah, I'm showing bottom of 5. North Alabama now has extended their lead 10-4. So this is an elimination game. So UNF will have to rally from at least 6 down if they want to extend their season. JU, I don't think the Dolphins play today. I think their first round win and their seeding has moved them on. So those are the teams in our area, the teams of record in our area. Georgia, as I said, plays a little later. Florida plays the night game. So Georgia plays the 3rd game today in Hoover. Florida plays the final and the 4th game in Hoover. No JU, UNF losing. We told you the game going on right now in the SEC. Tennessee holding on to a 5-2 lead. High school baseball. Looked it up. It looks like, and it pains me to report, it looks like Trinity Christian did not win the state championship. They fell short today by a score of 7-2. They lost, Trinity Christian, down in Fort Myers. They lost a noon game today for the state championship of 2A to Orlando First Academy. Orlando First Academy over Trinity. 7-2. Orlando First Academy, 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Trinity, 2 runs. They only mustered 4 hits. They knocked it around twice. They had 2 errors. But they were in it until probably the 6th inning. They gave up 3 runs in the 6th to kind of bust it open. So a good season for the Conquerors nonetheless, but it does not result in a state championship. So that should do it for our high school teams, and really our high school sports season has pretty much come to a close. A bunch of your schools, gosh, today I think, graduations going on all over the county today, the rest of this week, and next week. All right, with that, I think my man Casey Kurtz is around here. Casey, what's shaking, my man? How we doing?
What's up?
Everything good?
Yep.
Good. I've got some bouts around here. This topic I have yet to get to. This isn't mean Terry, but I'm just going to throw this out, okay?
All right.
Just Terry. Reasons the Jags, in my opinion, are staring a 6-11, 7-10 type season. And I don't think that's really that bad coming off last year.
Correct.
Would 6 or 7 wins be terrible with this franchise?
Terrible, no.
No, I agree.
Because there's been a lot of terrible wins.
I agree.
7 wins is not that.
But you know me, I pick at my colleagues a lot of times. I call the local guys, and they're in full fluffy Jaguar mode right now. I've heard and read and seen some local guys 12-5 for God's sake.
That ain't gonna happen.
12-5. I mean, there's optimism. Here you go. And Casey, a little bit of tongue in cheek here. Here are quite a few reasons I've got, and I want to prepare the Jaguar Nation in this area. The Jaguars will win 6, maybe 7 games. Okay, you ready? Ready
Sure
for
thing.
it? Here we go. Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCarry, Harrison. That's one. Okay. I don't think that offensive line's worth a damn. I think guys like Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland, I think they're just guys. I mean, how much longer are you going to wait on Walker Little? I think he's just a guy. The center from Tampa that got beat out by the rookie Hainsey. Okay. Anton Harris, isn't it time Anton puts up or shuts up? Isn't this his push year?
Yes.
I mean, I don't like that offensive line. I haven't liked that offensive line. That's why I was proposing go big ugly, go big ugly, go big ugly, not big sexy. Okay, continuing. Devon Hamilton, Mason Smith, Eric Armstead, Jordan Jefferson. That interior defensive line group does nothing for me. I think that's just a guy. Moving on. Devin Lloyd. The guy's an average player, I think. I mean, the legend of Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma, they're just guys. Aluakon makes 1,000,000 tackles because nobody on the defensive line makes a tackle. Ventrell Miller, that group of linebackers does nothing for me. And secondary, anyone not named Tyson Campbell, there are my reasons. I know that's smart alecky Terry, but thoughts on that? Thoughts on that, Casey?
I don't love their offensive line either.
No.
So I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I have. How should I put this? I have a little bit of faith in their defensive line.
A little.
I think Mason Smith still could be a good player.
Maybe, yeah. And he's the one. He's the wild card, isn't he, in that, probably?
Yeah, I mean, if you play Eric Armstead in the right position, which they did not do all last
Sure,
year, so
sure.
that'll get better.
Sure.
I think Jack Kaiser is going to play a role in their linebacker.
The Notre Dame guy?
Yeah, in their linebacker rotation. Yet to be seen how much. And then I am not high on their secondary.
Yeah. Do you give me the Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma? The guys are just guys. I mean, been around 5 years now. They're just guys, aren't they?
I mean, that's what we've seen to this point. I mean, Devin Lloyd, athletic freak, but you haven't got the play that relates to that.
Anyway, there you go. I've been kind of carrying that around a little bit. 6-11. Now, here's my real problem, though, with the franchise where it's at right now. If they go out and win 6 games, they go 6-11. Okay, it's 2 games, a 2-game improvement from the 4 last year. If you're 6-11, or even I'll throw in 7-10, doesn't that tell you still have, as a franchise, multiple holes to fill? 6-11, 7-10, you
probably.
Okay. And if you stay with this thought process, multiple holes to fill after this year, whatever you identify as hole number 1, number 2, how are you supposed to fix it without a first-round draft pick? You know, I think you've mortgaged the house.
Sure.
I mean, if you go 6-10 and you go, damn, we've still got a terrible offensive line. Well, are you going to fix it with a second-round pick? Or if you say, God almighty, that secondary was terrible. Let's go get a really good... we just got to get lucky as hell mid-second round, right? They don't have a pick next year in the first round.
Correct. I mean, they will free up some money. Eric Armstead will probably be gone after this year. That's money you can spend. At the moment, Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne both will not be here next year, which gives you some money to spend as well. So, they could go that route, but, there's no...
But the free agent stars never come here.
For the most part.
The big-name stars, plug-and-play guys, the Jaguars never are in the running for those guys. Money be damned, right? They just don't come here.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Doom and gloom, Terry. No, I just kind of like to give you what I think. I have nothing against Travis Hunter. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, at least early. That was probably one of the two. There were 2 or 3 positions on a bad football team. You've got to identify, okay, what are our non-pressing needs right now? We've got so many holes. This is the Jaguars. There's so many holes. You've got to at least eliminate a couple. Okay, quarterback, right? They're not going to go quarterback. They weren't going to go quarterback.
No.
I would have said wide receiver because you've got so many other holes. I would have said, let's live with Thomas and hope he becomes even more of a superstar. But there are so many other holes, I thought, on this franchise. And not only did they not go to one of the 2 or 3 leading holes I would have identified, they mortgaged their future to get Hunter.
Sure. I mean, here's the thing. If they would have been picking at 2, it would have been Travis Hunter the whole time. And you would have said, well, they might not have the biggest hole at receiver, but still that's the way you go.
Yeah.
At 5, if they would have stayed at 5, picking a receiver would have been a stretch.
God, if I'm running that organization, thank God I'm not, a lot of people are saying, if the Jaguars were picking at 2 and you knew Cam Ward was going at 1, I would have shopped the hell out of that number 2 pick because I thought I would have gotten a starting big ugly and swapped a few spots back and got, I don't know. I think we're going to be sitting here a year from now when the shine is off and the reality hits and fans are going to go, oh yeah, there is no first round pick. But wait a minute. We're a ways away from being a playoff. How are we going to get any better?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, going back to what you said a minute ago, I think you more so have to win 7 games and knocking on the door of 8 rather than 6 knocking on the door of 7.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, then you go, first-year coach, this is a big improvement.
Sure.
And we've got places to go. Now, if you're 5 knocking on 6, then it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
So there's one game is going to be a swing game in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they're 5 knocking on the door of 6, then I think what you just said is very realistic. Where it's like, oh no,
because there's still Did the fans that night? What was it? That Thursday night when all this went down, 3-4 Thursdays ago. There was such euphoria. I'm not sure a lot of the fans even heard the part about, and they gave up their pick next year. Right? Jaguars moved to 2. They heard Travis Hunter to the Jaguars. They gave this part that was they gave up next year's first round pick. I don't think Joe Fan in Jacksonville really heard that part.
It's easy to miss.
It was. Yeah, and they're gonna go. Wait, what? Wait, what? Hey, developing story out of Hoover. Alabama now is charged back. Bottom of 5th. They've had a big bottom of 5 inning. They're up 6-5 now. And remember, it's one and done. Lose and leave town. You lose one, you go home. Alabama played yesterday. They beat Missouri. Tennessee was buyed into this game. They got a bye yesterday. We'll track all the action. North Florida now trailing 11 for top of the 6th. So Ospreys need a big, big rally, or they're driving back and turning in the old uniforms. The old uniforms. Hey, before we take our first break, let me tell you heard from Coach Martin yesterday, the longtime head coach over at Providence. He runs wonderful, owns and operates wonderful summer basketball camps. He's done it a long time. He owns the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. They have 9 weeks of different levels, grades 3 through like high school, different levels, whatever level of basketball player you are at or your youngster is at, male or female. They will find a spot for you. You're not going to be thrown in the deep end. Your youngster's not going to be over his head or her head. It'll be the right competition level, the right skill level. Your youngsters will learn great tips on shooting, ball handling, passing, footwork, understanding the game of basketball, and teamwork. Coach Jim Martin over at Providence, boy, he has put out well over 45 college basketball players over his long tenure. He one year was literally on the coaching staff of the McDonald's All-American game, that huge game in Chicago. One of his prized pupil out of Providence, Grayson Allen, still in the NBA. You remember the Duke star. He's with the Jazz now. So if you've got a basketball player in your life, look into it. It is now summer camp season. The camps are starting to fill up. Everything gets started May 27th. They run through August 4th, so about 9 weeks, weekly type camps. Certainly you can sign up for more than 1 week, but they'll run all summer, but they will fill up quick. So, easiest way to find out all the information, the dates, how to get involved with the Jacksonville Basketball Academy summer camps is go to jacksonvillebasketballacademy.com. That is jacksonvillebasketballacademy.com. All right, let's take our first break here. Got a lot coming up. Top of the hour, we'll visit with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Brent Beard, about 5:30. A lot of other topics to get on the table, including, I think, a misguided decision by the NFL. I know why they are sending some players to the Olympics. I just don't think the payoff is worth it. We'll talk about that and a lot more. One down, a long way to go. Hump Day edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, right here on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Okay, we've got some breaking news out of the NBA. Obviously, the conference finals are going on. Oklahoma City with a win last night. Tonight, Indiana taking on the New York Knicks. The MVP has been announced. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, having a hell of a year, and his team, Oklahoma City, they got their first win in the conference finals last night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander earns his first NBA MVP award. It was just announced not long ago. He was runner-up last year to Jokic, who won his third MVP in 4 seasons last year. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander edges out the field. Gilgeous-Alexander, get a load of these numbers. Led the league in scoring, won his first scoring title, 32.7 points a game. And Casey, am I reading this right? On 51.9% shooting.
Sounds about right.
Goodness gracious.
He's real good.
From the floor, averaged 6.4 assists, 5 rebounds, 1.7 steals, and a block a game. That is unbelievable. The only other player in NBA history to average at least 30 on 50% or higher shooting, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and a block is some guy named Michael Jordan back in 87, 88, and 90, 91. What a season for Gilgeous-Alexander. 26 years old. Gosh, he feels a little younger than that, but 26. Part of that young gun. We talked the other day about, the moving of the guard. Not that Joker's done at a high level, not that Giannis is done, but that young guard, man, Ant is coming in from Minnesota, taking over. SGA, Wemby when he gets healthy again. Chet Holmgren. The new guard, and it happens in all sports, it just kind of cycles through. But this new group, I would put Gilgeous-Alexander in there, even though he's 26. Doesn't he seem younger than that?
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple years in the Clippers where he didn't play.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And he played a couple years at, I think at least a couple at Kentucky. He was a Mike White, Florida commitment I bet he was committed to the Gators for a year. I mean, it was a long commitment, and I'm telling you, it was a signing day flip. Calipari at Kentucky at the time flipped him. Oh yeah, he was a long time Gator commitment under Mike White.
Probably would not be the MVP of the NBA if he stayed on that commitment, by the way.
Probably not, but breaking news as, tonight, 8 o'clock, TNT and Max, you've got Indiana and the Knicks. That is game 1 of their series. I don't follow the NBA hard, but this is the time it's fun. I like it now. It's Final Four. I like 3 of the teams in it. I could care less about New York. You know me, Southern guy. Hell with those New York Yankees. Knicks, Yankees, Mets. Hell with them. You follow the NBA much?
Not until about right now.
About right now, yeah. Same here. And it's a lot of fun. I teased a little bit about the NFL ruling today came out. The NFL said they have green-lighted. They've given the okay, and I guess it had to go through the owners and the Players Association. But the NFL is okay with each franchise, if they so choose, one player off of a franchise will be allowed to go into the 2028 Olympics and play 7-on-7 football. You know, that's going to be introduced in 2028.
Yep.
And those are in L.A., right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, L.A. You know why the NFL is doing it. Their theory is it's one more way to show off the NFL to the world. I don't think that's going to happen. Do you think? I don't know if introducing the world to NFL players that are playing 7-on-7, isn't that just going to confuse the rest of the world a little bit? I don't think.
I mean, maybe a little, but I mean, I don't mind it.
What about the injury factor, though? You know, that's the main issue.
Could get hurt walking down the street, though.
Yeah, you could, but when your guy blows, and you know it won't be big linemen.
No,
it'll be your DBs and wide receivers, right?
For sure.
When one of those guys cuts and throws a knee out,
it'll stop immediately. Yeah. But listen, I think they would have a huge, massive problem on their hands if the owners told them they couldn't play.
Yeah, probably. Now, from the player's standpoint, obviously winning a 7-on-7 Olympic gold medal, that can't be way up there. I'm chasing Nirvana, right? I mean,
I disagree. I think it depends on who it is.
Really?
Me and Brent talked about this earlier.
Okay.
But I think a guy like Derrick Henry is at the front of the line saying, you get me on that team because I've won a Heisman, because I've rushing records and this and that. I'm a Hall of Famer, and then I'm going to be an Olympic gold medalist as well.
Yeah.
If his team could somehow figure out how to win a Super Bowl, he would have the most impressive resume in the history of sports.
All right.
And then you add in a guy like Patrick Mahomes. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm like, you get me in there because I'm an NFL MVP, I'm a Super Bowl champion, I'm an Olympic gold medalist. You're talking about some of these guys,
I guess,
legacy and resume in terms of athletic resume would put them over the top.
I guess. Yeah. If it was true football had been established worldwide and it was real football, to me this is kind of trumped up a little bit. You know, it's like, I
mean, there's a part of it too because they're definitely going to win.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
So, I mean, it's a shoo-in. If you are on the team, you're going to win a gold medal.
You think there's not more? I don't know. Do you just, are they such good athletes, just roll the ball out and say, get open on 2, ready, break? Or I don't know. Are there intricacies?
I have a hard time believing
somebody's going to stay with
an electrician from France.
It's going to stay
is
with
going to guard Travis Hunter if
Jamar
he chose
Chase.
To play. Yeah. I think that's pretty much
we can't. So we can't guard Chase. So let's see how we can do with Travis Hunter.
Got no shot.
I guess. I guess. And pardon my ignorance. I don't know. Is there a pocket in the world that is known for 7-on-7 football? I don't know.
Not that I know of.
Yes, I don't know.
Although if they started now, it could be one heck of an upset if France decided right now that they were going to figure this thing out before 28. I mean, it would be one heck of a showing to come here and give the U.S. a run.
I do know you occasionally see there's a big 7-on-7 high school circuit.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a high school circuit, and
that's why me and Brent were saying this earlier, in 3 years, who the quarterback, you might be better suited to have guys that are in college going into the NFL. If it was this year, we were saying DJ Lagway would have an argument because he's played 7-on-7 football since he was probably.
That's a good point, man. That's a really and it wasn't that long ago that he played it. You know,
exactly.
Jamar Chase would have to be, it'd be 10 years by 28. That's it. It'd be fun to send the best high school 7-on-7 group over there and see what they do.
I mean, to be honest, it would be interesting. And listen, if it stays in the Olympics, you probably get to that point. Because this isn't something that, if Travis Hunter were to play in 28, he's not going to, in 32, be let me get back in there. You know what I mean?
So, let's put this together. It'll be the 2028 Summer Olympics. Mm-hmm. So, at some point, however you select your team, they've got to get together. But you would have, from the Super Bowl, first week of February, Olympics, would start in June probably?
Yeah.
June. So somewhere they've got to give up some of their off season. Mm-hmm. They got to work it around. They got OTAs and mini camps.
Yep.
So where are they going to squeeze in? You got to go practice a little bit, don't you? A week or two.
Maybe a little.
And then the Olympics, the competition. You'll be you'll be tied up for a good week, won't you? At least.
Oh yeah, a couple weeks probably for sure.
Huh.
The toughest one to get away from a team will be quarterback, so that will actually be the interesting because it'll be harder to take a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, away from like maybe a new coach or learning an offense. So that'll be one
have they talked about compensation, where it's coming from? Does the Olympic? I guess the Olympic Fund would pay it. Yeah. You also wonder how that's going to. Will football, to get these guys out, you almost have to pay them more than any other athlete, wouldn't you? Would that cause some consternation among the other,
Yeah, I think, since it's all so new, like, I think it feels like a lot of, like Justin Jefferson said, he very much wants to play.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're going to have enough to choose from that are going to be like, I just want to do it. Versus, like, you need to.
But they're not going to do it for $10,000. They're going to want a chunk of money, aren't they?
We'll see.
The pride.
Because again, the one thing it's a shoo-in. They're going to be gold medalists.
How about this?
How much do you care about that?
How about this? And it's probably nowhere near as much in football than baseball, obviously, and basketball. But are there many star wide receiver DBs in the NFL that are not United States born that could play for?
Yeah, I thought about that earlier. We were trying to figure that out. Like, the question more so to me would be like, is there a way? Because, like, there's always like a family member or something.
Yeah.
So that'll be one
Yeah.
to monitor. Because, like, again, you're only gonna have a select few.
Yeah, I was going to say that the team won't be that big. 7-on-7 is what? Like, is it fourth? Does the quarterback count as one? I don't know. But you won't need a roster of more than 12 players or 10 players, will you?
If you got some Travis Hunters, you can play both ways.
So all of a sudden, some hotshot DB wide receiver in the NFL might be, my uncle's from Italy.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see how if guys really want to play.
So then that's a way the international team could knock off the U.S. team.
Yeah, but in mass, that's probably not going to happen. And if you don't have a quarterback, then
People will probably watch. The NFL will probably, at least the first go around, I bet, unless it's stupid.
I'll be interested to see.
The NFL fan would watch that, right?
Yeah.
At least the first go around in 2028, they'd watch it.
Yeah, because also I want to see how much they can score.
Yeah.
Like, they might win 100 and something to nothing.
Maybe.
Depending on who they draw. If they draw, I don't even know what a good example. If they draw, like, Japan, that's probably a rout. That's probably 116 to nothing.
You would think. I don't know the rules and regulation. Will you have an offense and defense? You don't have to play defense if you play, right? Your wide receivers won't be your defense.
I don't know what they'll do.
I don't know how that works.
Unless Travis Hunter plays, then he'll play both.
Yeah, he will, of course. He may play for every team.
My guess is they are not going to let Justin Jefferson play defense as well.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess the high school, you have DBs playing defense against white. Yeah, they're not. It's not like when the ball gets turned over, the wide receivers go play DB. I guess they have two.
Correct, right? But some guys do play both.
And some guys do, yeah.
Depending on who you are.
Huh. That first guy that misses the entire NFL season because he tore his knee up in June.
Yep, it'll be bad.
Yeah.
It'll be real
bad. But you're right. You get hit. You can get hit crossing the.
Guys get hurt non-contact in minicamp, whatnot all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just as likely, in my opinion. But
hey, didn't see this coming. Flipping over to Major League Baseball, man, sometimes just things get. I would have never, ever in a million years thought that the Pirate fan that fell out of the stands and broke his back, his hip, his pelvis, and all, alcohol was involved.
Yeah.
Did you hear that story?
I saw the headline and then moved on to the rest of my day.
The guy that fell, 20 years old, so he's underage.
Yep.
On film. His buddy, who is of age, is on cameras in the stadium buying beers and literally handing it to the guy. They're walking down the breezeway, going back to their seats and things. So that guy's in trouble for providing alcohol to an underage, person.
Sure.
My question, though, and we really need an attorney here. At 20 years old, how much blame should go on the guy that fell too? Does the guy that provided him take all the brunt of it. The 20-year-old knows he's not supposed to be drinking.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So does some of that onus go on the 20-year-old?
I would say it should.
You would think. And I bring that up because I sat there and thought, well, wait a minute. For instance, in a custody situation, a lot of times a judge and a court, if the kid is in question with custody is 15, 16, okay, that's not adult age, but a lot of times a judge will say, okay, Susie, which parent would you prefer to live with? You're old enough and your thought process is rational enough, you make the decision.
Right.
If we let 15 and 16-year-old kids do that, you got to wonder, hey, at some point, some of this blame's got to go on the 20-year-old.
Yes, I would agree.
Right?
Without question.
Interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad look. Don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah,
the other dude should, like, get some heat, if you will. But, like, if we're not going to hold people accountable for their actions, then what are we doing?
Yeah, and I don't know, but let's say the guy that provided the alcohol to the underage friend of his, let's say he was going to get 5 years.
Okay.
But wouldn't you almost go, but, how about 3 and 3, because some of the onus has got to go on the kid.
Yeah.
The guy was 20 years old. He knows he's not supposed to be drinking.
Yeah, I think that establishes everything you're trying to get there. So I could push for that if I was an attorney, for sure.
My defense, if I was the guy.
Okay. Now you're representing and defending. So what you got?
Yeah, that's the way I like it.
And you can't lose that way.
If I was the guy that was charged, if I provided the alcohol, I would scream to the mountaintops, yeah, he's my friend. Yeah, we sat next to each other. Yeah, I had him. I've never asked him in my life how old he is.
That's not bad.
I just assume, we look alike. I'm 22.
We're frat brothers. I don't know.
I would have said, I would scream, unless you can turn up something that I looked at his driver's license, or I'd say,
that's not bad.
I would say to this day, until I read it in the newspaper, I had no idea he was 19 or 20.
We go out to the bar often, and he always gets in. So
yeah,
I never really thought anything of it.
Yeah. Or
you're onto something.
Or I guess they had film of him. I'd say, hey, he was in line next to me.
I just paid.
Shouldn't they have asked for his ID?
Yeah.
Pass the bucks. What?
You might be able to get him out of this.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's take another break here. Starting to wrap up hour number 1. Got some Major League Baseball real quick. I saw, before we go to break, did I see where Baltimore's trying to get a win? A lot of day game action. Baltimore final 11 innings. The Orioles, minus their manager, 8-4 winners over Milwaukee. Ouch, that's going to leave a mark for Milwaukee. But Baltimore gets a win. They fired 3 managers already in MLB.
Yep.
3 are gone. 3 are gone. Pirates get a 3-1 win over Cincy. That tells you Paul Skeens wasn't pitching, because they never score that many runs. A couple other games, Kansas City leading San Fran 3-1, bottom of the 3rd. Top of the 9th, Seattle, who's in first place in their division, they're leading the lonely White Sox 6-5. So some afternoon day baseball. Cubs have gotten an early win, 2-1 over the Marlins. Cubs playing good ball here in the first half. Break time, we'll come back, start wrapping up hour number 1. We'll talk to Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the other side. I'm going to talk a little bit about heat stroke. It's kind of that time of year. What are some of the signs? What are some of the preventions? Stay out of the sun, stay out of the heat. That's number 1. We'll talk about that and some other injury situations in sports with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, a bunch of football helmets. By the way, we are 94 days away from the start of college football, if you were wondering. How do I know that? Well, because I'm sick for college football. 94, and we just call 3 months. 3 months away. 3 months, Casey. 94 days away. Welcome back to the Young and Norvelle Show. We've got Dr. Bates coming up at 5 o'clock, Brent Beard at 5:30. Baseball update scores. Fun game going on in Hoover. Tennessee now has retaken the lead. Bottom of 6. Tennessee, the home team, they lead Alabama 7-6. This game's gone back and forth. North Alabama leading UNF, bottom of 6 in the ASUN elimination game, 13-8. JU doesn't play today. Florida and Georgia play the next 2 games in Hoover in baseball. Georgia will take on Oklahoma 30 minutes after the completion of this Tennessee-Alabama game, and then Florida 30 minutes after the Georgia-Oklahoma game. Florida is scheduled to take on Ole Miss in the night game. That's scheduled for first pitch at 9 o'clock. If it's anywhere near 9, I would be very happy. I hope it doesn't get up.
You going to make it up the whole time?
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to really give it a heck of a shot. We will see. Casey, that stupid sport of hockey cost me $4.23 last night.
That's tough. Listen.
Damn it.
You know, sometimes I decide, people got to do what they're going to do. Panthers are a better team. I hate to tell you. And the fact
now
that,
you tell me.
Yeah, well, and yeah, you went after the Hurricanes, which was certainly a decision.
Home team.
Got a couple of chuckles back here, though, while you were doing it. So that doesn't, help your wallet, but it might make you feel good.
And it wasn't even one of those, man, I just did lose that bet.
They got creamed.
They were in it. They were never in it, were they?
No, it was 5-1, I think.
5-2 was the final, but I think that 2 was,
a little cheap one.
They were already the winning team was already taking their skates off, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean,
stupid sport.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. Now, we were again got a good laugh back here. We were checking out other things you could potentially bet on that you have no clue about.
Yeah,
I mean, you could get in on some ping pong.
Yeah,
handball.
How do you know I'm not a ping pong aficionado?
I just a guess.
Yeah, you get it.
Rugby's on there.
Yeah, sure.
There's minor league hockey. If the NHL's not working, you go to the AHL.
Yeah, God almighty.
There's plenty of things you could explore. If
I
you
tell
choose.
you, gambling has literally taken over the world, hasn't it? It has.
It's pretty much built on it, more or less.
I think you can pull up to a red light and gamble on when the light will change green.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, I think so. Wanted to get into a quick topic here as we start to wrap up hour number one. We'll have Dr. Bates on at 5. Scotty Scheffler with his win, obviously the dominant golfer the last 2 or 3 years, got me thinking. And Casey, you know this, but damn, winning majors is hard.
It is difficult.
It is hard. What Jack leads it with 18, Tiger's at 15 with the great chase. Man, you got to play a long time. You got to stay healthy. Scheffler, the dominant golfer right now, he won his third, right?
Yep, two Masters in this.
2 Masters. He's got 3. How about this? Your active golfers, active, and I don't mean senior.
Yep, currently playing on the tour.
And I think I looked it up as 40 and under, guys that could still amass a big number.
Okay.
Your leaders with majors. Any guess who's number 1 with 5?
Rory.
Roy's tied at 1 with Koepka.
Oh yeah, Koepka.
Koepka and McIlroy with 5 though. How about that? As hot as Scheffler's been, he's got 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Koepka 5. Roy 5, Scheffler 3, Jordan Spieth at 3, even though he had a roadblock, didn't he?
He just needs the PGA for the Grand Slam.
Yeah, how about that? And then 3 guys with 2 each. Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau, Xander Schauffele. 2, 2, and 2. I thought it was interesting, though. So that is the contemporaries of Scheffler. Wouldn't you say, these guys are pretty much Scheffler, but here are their ages. And Scheffler is the youngest.
Oh, yeah.
Scheffler's 28, turns 29 in June. Koepka's 35, Roy is 36, Spieth 31, Thomas 32, Bryson and Xander 31 apiece. So Scheffler, and I don't know, is it fair to say kind of 40 is kind of a cutoff?
Yeah.
You figure, and I'll just go ahead.
I mean, what, Phil won one over 40?
Yeah.
Tiger, but I mean.
Jack won one at 46, which is rare.
But you're not racking them up.
No, you're not. So Scheffler, just call it 10 years. You would think Scheffler, if he stays healthy, he's got a good 10 years of really being a factor. 10 years, let's just say 10 years starting next year. That'll give you 40 more cracks if he plays at all of them.
Yep.
Right? I mean, think about that. You would have to win, if you want 1 of every 4 would give you 10 more, and you're still sitting at 13.
True.
And I mean, you're not going to win 1 of every 4. That's hard to
Unlikely.
do. Over 10 years. My God, 18 and 15 is a hell of a number.
It is one heck of a number.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And how in God's grace, I'll tell you the other thing about Nicklaus. Sports medicine was nowhere near as advanced in his heyday in the mid to late 60s he came on. So late 60s, 70s and 80s were his wheelhouse years, decades. I mean, Nicklaus, he wasn't Mr. Workout guy. He was actually he got the nickname Golden Bear because he was pudgy.
Bro just went out there and golfed, showed up and golfed.
When he was young, he was thick, pudgy guy. The Golden Bear, I mean, golden hair bear. But he really, and I'm old enough to remember Nicklaus, 70s, I was really starting to become a sports guy, young kid. 70s, 80s, he was never hurt. He played up. He just played his ass off, It just doesn't seem like the golfers back then got hurt. Scheffler had the hand, he cut himself or something?
Yeah, on Christmas, I believe it was.
But that was off season, so that kind of helped. It wasn't right in the middle. He didn't miss a 2 majors.
Nope. Didn't miss anything. Played in the Players.
So yeah, and I guess maybe he had to work himself back into shape a little bit. But his only other indiscretion was the arrest. Remember, what was the deal? He went down the wrong way trying to go to a golf course or something?
Yeah, that was at the PGA Championship last year.
Last year, yes.
Yeah, he didn't stop when they asked him to stop. He said, "I'm Scotty Scheffler." They said, "We don't care." He kept going.
He got arrested, didn't he?
He did. Went to jail and then came back and played golf.
Yes. How great is that?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
That's good.
But, man, just messing with these numbers, what it takes to it would have been so much fun, though, if Tiger off the course would not have affected Tiger on the course, so we could at least know. Wouldn't you? Because we'll all always wonder, man, if Tiger didn't have domestic stuff, and then obviously he did have a lot of injuries that were not domestic involved. But if Tiger could have stayed relatively Tiger, his number still might have been 13. But wouldn't you have liked to have known?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you really have liked to have known?
Definitely.
And, God, could you imagine if Tiger had tied Nicklaus, the viewing of each subsequent major?
Oh, yeah, it would have been nuts.
Oh, my goodness. Were you a Tiger guy, or were you an anti kind of,
I'm not anti. But, like, I've always said, like, to me, when I watch, like, I'm not there because Tiger's there.
Okay, I got
Like,
you.
I'm perfectly fine with everybody else. Now, if Tiger is there, then that's great.
Yeah.
That's cool. But my biggest, like, annoyance, to be honest, is when Tiger was playing relatively recently in the majors, he'd be like 6 over, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna check in with Tiger." I'm like, "Why don't you show me the guy that's in third?"
Yeah,
instead?
I do. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
I remember that vividly. It might have gone a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. If you put if you were in your living room and just stopwatched Tiger's 10 shots out of the lead, and every time they went to him, you're going, "Wait a minute, what about the first, second, and third place guys right now?"
Yeah, it got to be a lot. And listen, Brent Martineau is a big Tiger guy, and we've had lots of these conversations. But like to me, I'm just as fine watching, Scotty. I'm a Jordan Spieth guy, so I got no problem watching all that. And if Tiger's there, great. If he's not, you know what? They're fine without him. To be honest,
I enjoyed Tiger. I enjoyed the whole thing. I was a Tiger guy, and I rooted for him. I don't know. He was just different. Brought a lot to the game. Remember Tiger, how one thing that hurt him, Phil, in the years you thought it could be Phil and Tiger, remember Tiger, Phil would wilt. And right? It took Phil late in his career to start winning the big ones. And
for sure.
You remember some of David Duval was really the first, and it was a short-lived, but David Duval had a short-lived period where he was Tiger's number one, competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Duval was one in the world.
That's crazy.
For a while. And then, who else? They were a big age difference, but for about 2 years, who's the guy? Vijay Singh. Remember Vijay had a run as the number one, number two in the world, and he was one. I guess what I'm saying is there have only been a few guys that you felt like in Tiger's heyday that would at least look him in the eye on the tee box.
Right.
And VJ was one of those guys.
VJ's a big dude now.
Yeah, he is a big dude. He's still swinging it, man.
Oh, yeah, he plays Champions Tour.
I saw him on the Champions Tour, and he's still got that big, real good rhythmic swing. Big, long swing. Still hitting it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Still hitting it and still making money. All right. I just thought that was interesting, man. Man, you got to go. You got to stay healthy. And you got to win a lot of majors because, it's really crammed in between, 23, 24, and 40.
Oh, yeah.
You got about 15 years or so to win a bunch of majors to get to double digits is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Rory will be the first one to tell you that.
God,
because he was the one that was supposed to have it locked in, and where did Bro go?
Yeah, no doubt about it. 1 hour down, 1 to go. We'll come back, talk some sports medicine with our buddy Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the other side.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jags Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jags Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jags Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Hey, welcome back to the Young and Norvelle Show here, Hump Day Wednesday edition of the program. Hope you're enjoying it. I know we're enjoying bringing it to you. A lot of different topics. Time to talk some sports medicine with our good buddy, Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Remember, if you've got any type of orthopedic needs, situation where you need orthopedic care, find out everything they can do, where they're located, all the different locations by going to the website se-ortho.com, se-ortho.com. Hi, Doc. Got a couple things for you, but before, I wanted just to throw a little sports general thought your way. Today, the NFL, with regard to what I call the power sneak play, you know, the tush push. I'm too mature to say tush push, but the power. You know what we're talking about. The Eagles have perfected this. In a vote today, they didn't. The league did not vote to banish it, at least for another year. What are your thoughts on that play? I've got some strong thoughts. Have you given much thought? Do you think it's a fair play? Should not be part of the game? What are your thoughts? Do you have any on that?
Well, I always thought it was an illegal play just from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we already know in the rule book it says you can't assist another offensive player to score or gain other yards or anything like that. So I thought that they were definitely going to, kind of rule against it. But
yeah, interesting. It's really interesting the way it played out, and you wonder. The Eagles got so. My only issue is it feels like you're punishing a team that got so good at something. They became so good at it. If they ran it 20 times, didn't get any first downs, would they have voted it out then? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if they're letting everybody do it and it's a level playing field, then I think they should do it. But the Eagles are definitely better than everyone else.
Yeah, they seem to. I don't have any problem with the defense lining up as many big fat guys in the middle and the linebackers or even other big fat guys pushing the other fat guy. I've got, stop the play, To me, a little correlation, I'm jumping leagues here now, but to me, that would be almost like going to the great game of college football and in the heyday of the triple option in the 70s and 80s, hey, Oklahoma, you're running that triple option too good. You can't run it. You're just too good at it. I don't know. Maybe
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe I'm all wet there, but I just want to get your thought as an ex-football player. Doc, not really an injury as much as I wanted to talk. We're in the peak now. We're starting heat stroke season. And I know, obviously, this is not an orthopedic question, but your thoughts, preventive, I don't think a lot of us drink enough water, probably. I don't know if that's just I wanted to get your thoughts. We may have lost Doc. We'll try and get Doc back. But I want to talk heat strokes and also tie it into baseball. And, you look at – I've wondered over the years how difficult it is throughout the absolute dog days of summer. Think about the battle that the umpires go through. You think about the umpires, college, any umpire, Major League Baseball, outdoor stadiums, the boys of summer, hot as hell. The umpires, they've got slacks on, right? They got a lot of clothes on. And remember, Doc, I wanted to bring up heat stroke. We're in that time of year, and I know it's not an orthopedic question. Thoughts on heat stroke, how serious it is, telltale signs you may be getting near. What are just some advice? It is hot now, and it's going to be hot now for 4 months. Heat stroke, Doc, can you just talk about it a little bit?
Right. So heat stroke is actually very serious. It actually can be fatal.
Sure.
So the way before you get the heat stroke, there's like a continuum. So you go from heat cramps, then you get the heat exhaustion, and then you get the heat stroke. So heat cramps are just obviously just like cramps. You see a lot of guys cramping on the field, calves, hammies, quads, all that stuff. And then you get to the heat exhaustion where there's a little more serious symptoms like dizziness or lightheadedness.
Yeah.
You also could have headaches or fatigue or nausea, but you're still sweating profusely.
Right.
Once you stop sweating,
I was going to ask you about that.
Your core temperature over, I believe, 103, 104, that is the heat stroke stage. And that's where there's mental status changes and all of that.
Yeah.
And that's what can be fatal.
Doc, I was going to ask you, I'm glad you went there. I was going to ask you, I'd always heard that one of the telltale signs, if you quit sweating, and I've never gotten to that point in my life, thank God. I've never been out doing activity, sports or work, and went, damn, I'm not even sweating. If you get to that point, that's real serious, right? If you're not sweating on a hot, sweaty day.
Extremely serious. Extremely serious.
It
should never get to that.
How quickly and what are the best ways to, I guess you got to get the body temperature back down, right? Obviously get out of the sun. How quickly can the human body, is it hard to say how quickly you can start bringing it back down?
Yeah, it's hard to say, and it kind of depends on what the treatment is. Some are like an ice bath, putting ice in those areas, like on your armpits, in your groin area. That kind of cools your core temperature down quicker around your neck, things like that. And then there's certain IV fluids that are colder that'll get to your core temperature as well.
I tell you, we a moment ago we lost you there for a second. I started spinning off into this heat stroke, and some spin-off discussions. I hope I'm not going to verbalize this into existence, but I've often been a guy that has wondered. Baseball is played through the hot time of the. I mean, the boys of summer is Major League Baseball. I mean, you play, and these open air stadiums, day after day, it's hotter than hell, as you know, Cincinnati and all these places, Philadelphia, Atlanta. It's hot, 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 hot. I've often wondered how lucky we've gotten. Think about the umpires. Think about umpires. They're in there. They've got clothing from head to toe, right? They've got their uniform on, slacks. There's no shorts. Major League Baseball players aren't wearing shorts, or umpires, I should say. They're wearing, the home plate guy's got at least a pad underneath his shirt, not the big old pads, but he's got something. The home plate guy's got a mask. The other guys are in the field. But think about the umpires in that heat. Between innings, the players go into a dugout and they sit down and they get out. The umpires, there's no half inning to go sit down and get out of the heat. They've got 2 minutes. I'm surprised we haven't seen more umpires, something tragic happen.
Well, when you watch a game, you definitely see those umpires in between innings drinking a bunch of water.
They do.
Gatorade, restoring their electrolytes and all that.
Yeah. But have you thought, the Braves, when they get that third out, it's hot on those players, but they run into the dugout and they sit down and they're in the shade, and the umpires have 2 minutes between innings. I've always wondered about that. That's tough on those guys. And don't forget now, umpires are generally, 40, 50, some of them 60 years old and not in the best shape.
Right.
And I mean,
well, I think the other thing is that, they always use the cold towels and things like that. But what it also helped is the timing of the games now. You have the pitch counts and all of that, the pitch timer or whatever that is. So if you shorten the game, that helps them as well.
Yeah, but man, they get just blasted. I mean, the teams, at least half the game, you're in the dugout because your team's batting. Those umpires, they ain't no going to the dugout for, 10, 12, 15 minutes, and hell, even go back into the locker room. In Major League Baseball, you go in the locker room if you get that bad. I'll tell you, Doc, another thing that has worried me, I'm a worrier by nature, and I can't believe this hasn't happened more, particularly in Major League Baseball. I mean, baseball, one of the intricacies of the game is an angry manager is allowed to storm onto the field. And, I mean, as long as there's been baseball, you've had the manager madder than hell, and, I mean, nose to nose, just going at it with an umpire. And these guys are 60-year-old managers. In a lot of cases, they're out of shape. And you've seen some of the great arguments, Doc. You've watched a bunch of baseball. Yeah. I mean, these guys are over the top. I can't believe we hadn't seen more guys fall out with a heart attack. I mean, 60-year-old, out of shape, smoking manager, and they get into it, man. I always worry about that when I see that going on.
Yeah, there's something called Valsalva, and people can pass out. Like when you get up from sitting down long periods of time.
Yeah.
Can't get blood enough to your brain and just pass out.
Yeah, but
you're right. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened.
I mean, and we've all, Casey's a big baseball guy, our producer. We've all seen over the years, man. There have been some 10-minute veins popping out. Now, I've been watching, heavy, portly man. I go, my God, this guy better slow down. He's gonna have a freaking heart attack. I don't want to see that.
I mean, it was called vasovagal, not Valsalva.
I got you.
Vasovagal, where there's not enough blood reaching the brain, just because of the pressure and all that stuff and the drop of pressure.
Yeah, it's and man, a lot of those managers, when they get run out of, they're going to get their money worth, and they just go, man. They go. I'm like, this dude's going to stroke out if he's not careful. I can't believe it hasn't happened more. I can't believe it. Now that we can get off of a bad subject, Doc, I was going to ask you about kind of male female body mass. We always talk about tendons and ligaments and injuries and ACLs and MCLs and UCLs. Do they happen to men more? I know there's more male athletes, but do those type of injuries happen to the male more because of body mass? Does that play into it? A man has more body mass. Does that factor at all?
Right. I think so, but probably not in the way that you're thinking of it. Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
There's definitely a hormonal contribution to injuries between males and females. Since males have testosterone, produce testosterone, and females really don't, we have greater muscle mass, muscle bulk. So that can lead to tendon ruptures and things like that.
Yeah.
More hip and core injuries than you're going to see females get. But then females, because of estrogen, they actually have more lax tendons and ligaments, and so that's why they can stretch for longer amounts and things like that.
Yeah.
But that also can lead to ligament disruptions. So there's a greater risk of ACL tears in the female than the male. Most definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
And you just said something I was going to lead into about stretching, and just to the naked eye, it would appear that women are more by nature more flexible than men. Is that a fair statement? And
yes.
Okay, you would just just appear that a female is more flexible. Do they also have a little more natural stretch in their ligaments and stuff, or no? Do they have a little more? Yeah, okay.
They do. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That can lead to injury, but, because females have to have babies, and so their ligaments stretch more so they can have babies, basically.
Sure. Interesting.
But that affects the whole body and all joints.
I'm still amazed that, and I went through the cheer dad phase. My daughter was a cheerleader, small at a gym, and then junior high and high. So we went through the whole thing. I was a cheer dad, so I was at a lot of the competitions, and then I particularly when they get to the playoffs and stuff, I like the Friday night gymnastics. SEC has great gymnastics. You'll have Alabama and Florida. I'll watch the hell out of that. I'm still amazed that we don't see more female. They're tumbling, they're landing, they're cheering, they're doing floor exercises, they're doing. I know the vaults and stuff. I can't, and especially, Doc, when I see them on the floor exercise, those gymnasts, those female gymnasts, and I mean they are full speed, flipping and jumping and somersaulting, and man, do they land hard. And I know we've gotten to a point where that floor exercise mat is designed pretty nice, but God dang, Doc, I worry that I'm going to watch a girl just snap her leg or her knee landing in those things.
Yeah, I've seen many ACL tears from cheerleaders, from gymnasts, and it's really when they land, if they're doing some type of twisting, tumbling type maneuver, and they don't land correctly, they can tear their ACL.
Yeah, and man, I know the in particular the floor exercise. I know that pad has developed and all, and isn't it like a car accident? When two cars hit, there's going to be that energy's got to go somewhere. It's got to go. It doesn't just disappear. And I guess the pad takes a lot of it when they land like that. But my God, it can't take all of it, right? I mean, that's got to be risky, man. God.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you see gymnasts like Simone Biles and the the height they're getting with their tumbling maneuvers.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. Boy, when I tell you, I like watching the gymnastics when they get into the Final Four and all, but when I watch it, I there's times I literally cringe when I know they're about to land. I'm like, ugh. I just don't want, because, we've talked, Doc, I'm not one of those rubberneckers at a car accident. I don't like to see, I don't like, when you don't know it's coming, you sometimes see, like in football, you'll see an ankle go the wrong way or a knee. I'm not the guy that goes back and watches it again. I don't like that. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. I think it does, for a lot of people, that's why they don't show it over and over again.
Yeah, definitely. And they do a pretty good job saying, hey, we're going to show this in a second, but if you're a little squeamish, some people love it. Some people love that stuff. So, well, Doc, I appreciate your time. Thanks for your input on your thoughts on the football. The question I asked you at the top of the
Sure.
Are you back to have you released yourself from your rotator? Are you back 100% activity? Or
I'm swinging the club, which is good.
Okay.
But not really like playing basketball or anything like that. I don't want to get into an uncontrolled environment.
Yeah.
But, I'm getting stronger each week.
Where's your mental at? Are you comfortable going 100%? Are you mentally trying to slow get back into it, or how are you doing mentally with that?
Well, mentally, I really want to get back into it right now, just like every other patient.
Yeah.
But I keep having to check myself, know that just what I tell my patients.
Yeah.
I don't want things to happen over and over again. I just got to slow down a little bit.
I know we've talked about the mental aspect. I know if I ever had something like that, that first time I go 100%, I would be a little bit scared. Yeah, I'd be a little bit scared. I don't want to do it all over again. Doc, thanks so much for your time. We enjoy our Wednesday chats with you. Appreciate everything you do. And we'll do it next Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week, my friend.
Definitely. You too. That's
our buddy, Dr. Aaron Bates. Remember, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, the best in the business. If you've got orthopedic needs, somebody you know, a family member, get them in quickly. They've got no appointment necessary locations around town for those emergencies. Do not sit in a waiting room, giving away time and days. Get your treatment started with the best in the business. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Find out everything and where they're at by going to their website, se-ortho.com. se-ortho.com. Come back, take a break, and then we'll get close to welcoming Brent Beard, talking a lot of college sports. Final 30 minutes or so right here on the Young and Norvelle Show.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store, either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Got a fun game going on out in Hoover, Alabama, at the Met there in the SEC baseball tournament. Game number 2 of the day has Tennessee leading Alabama. Alabama had taken a lead, 6-5. Tennessee went back up 7-6. We checked back in, and now Tennessee has stretched that lead. Top of the 8th inning now. Tennessee leading Alabama 11-6. So Tennessee trying to finish off their first win. They got a bye into today's game. Alabama would go 1-1 if the score holds. Alabama is safely in the tournament. This might hurt their chances to host, but they will get in the regionals one way or the other. But Tennessee leading 11-6. North Florida trying to fight their way back into their elimination game in the Atlantic Sun down the road in DeLand. Stetson hosting that tournament. North Florida now top of the 8th. North Florida is the visiting team. They trail North Alabama 13-10, so they're down 3 runs. They need at least 3 to try and get this thing tied up to keep their season alive. So there's some baseball scores. Let me set the schedule the rest of the way for some teams of interest that we follow. Georgia will make their debut in the SEC baseball tournament 30 minutes after the completion of Tennessee-Alabama. Georgia will be game 3 of today. They'll take on Oklahoma. Oklahoma had to win their way into today's game by beating Kentucky yesterday. So the Bulldogs having a really nice season. Georgia's like 42-14. Really nice season. They've been ranked in the top 10 for probably about the second half of the year. Bulldogs get underway 30 minutes after this Tennessee-Alabama game ends. Game 3 of the day in Hoover, Georgia, Oklahoma. Then Florida will play their second game in Hoover. The Gators victorious yesterday. Pretty easy walk in the park. I think it was 11-3 was the final. Florida got by South Carolina, beat the Gamecocks for the 4th time, 4-0 against South Carolina. Florida moves on to, they play the night game. It's scheduled for first pitch 9 o'clock. That'll be a fluid time, as it really depends on the games before Tennessee, Alabama wrapping up, and then how the Georgia, Oklahoma game goes. Florida will play Ole Miss. Gators 1-0 so far. Ole Miss had a bye yesterday, so Ole Miss has been sitting there waiting on Florida now. The Gators, should Florida win tonight, they will move to face their next game will be against Arkansas no matter what. Arkansas got a double bye by virtue of being one of the top 4 seeds. So Arkansas is sitting there waiting on the winner of Florida Ole Miss. Now, that game will be Friday. So if Florida does win this evening, Wednesday, the Gators would be off on Thursday and face Arkansas. So Arkansas gets the winner. No matter what, their opponent will be either Florida or Ole Miss, and then certainly Friday winners will move on. Saturday semifinals, and then Sunday is the finals, the championship game of the SEC. So that's some of the local teams. Florida State, you haven't heard me talk much about Florida State. They're in the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament, which, Casey, have you ever tried to figure out a pool play tournament? They do pool play in the ACC. About 10 years now, they have Pool A, Pool B, and Pool C, and it's not a bracket round robin kind. It's the damnedest, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it sounds like something we did in like travel baseball when I was like 14.
Yes, it's crazy. FSU finished second in the conference by percentage points. Georgia Tech won the regular season by a winning percentage. FSU second, and they played like everybody else Thursday, Friday, Saturday of last week. Florida State doesn't play in the ACC tournament. Started yesterday, Tuesday. Florida State doesn't play till Friday.
Perfect. That's what you want.
And yeah, you kind of already know who you're playing. You play inside your pool, and it is the craziest thing. I don't know why they do it. I've tried to figure it out. They've done it about 10 years. But FSU, you haven't heard me talk much about. They don't play until Friday, and Lord knows who they play on Friday.
Keep it a mystery. It's better that way.
It is crazy. Do I hear Brent Beard?
You do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
I thought I heard Mr. Beard.
Yes, you do.
Brent, have you ever peeked at? I mean, if you want something to just shake your head at, go read how the ACC baseball pool tournament works. It's crazy. Nuts.
I have no real explanation for that.
No, it's a mess. Crazy game. Top of the 8th. Tennessee is now stretched out a lead 11-6 over Alabama. That's been a pretty fun game.
Yeah, that was. I think Tennessee was up like 5-1. They ended up getting 6-6.
Yeah,
and Alabama put one of its starters in, and he was not able to frankly get anybody out, which is a problem. So
yeah,
but Tennessee trying to gain things back. I mean, they lost. What was it, Terry? Like 5 out of their last 6 series.
Yeah.
To end the season on not a very good note at all. Boy, A&M made up for it this morning.
Man.
And then Auburn plays in the morning. So at least there's been one weather situation. And my understanding is beyond that, it may be smooth sailing the rest of the week.
That would be a miracle, wouldn't it? That would be a miracle. And, I think they were pretty smart last night. I wasn't happy because I left the show and got home, and whatever game was on, there was a SEC game. Florida was Florida. When we got off the show, I drove home, listened to the rest of the game, watched the last couple innings, and I was kind of settled in to watch A&M Mississippi State, which was the late game last night. But they went ahead and called that before weather was coming in. And why I say that was smart. That prevents, getting 2 innings in and both starting pitchers are burnt for this, burnt.
Sure.
And then, so they probably made a pretty good decision. Now, Auburn's been sitting around going, when do we get to play?
Yeah. Boy, really? Yeah. Auburn's, they don't play tomorrow. And you said FSU plays on Friday.
Yeah.
So, some of these teams can indeed sit around during this time. Listen, that they've been going crazy about, there was a foul ball in the SEC tournament, and some looked like 8-year-old called it on the kind of the sidewalk. And listen, Terry, they've got this kid on the panel with Alyssa and some of the gang. He and his friends have a chance of a lifetime up there.
What was it? Was it that great of a catch?
Yeah, it was pretty good catch for an 8-year-old on a foul ball. So that was rather amusing.
And they had it on camera. How about that? How about that? Boy, I'll tell you though, surprise this morning, A&M, who they're basically dead in the water. They probably they've probably either got to win this damn thing or at least get to Sunday. And I would they walked the dog on Mississippi State 9-0 and dominated the game.
Yeah, they sure did. I mean, that thing went even close. And the shame about that is Mississippi State was frankly playing okay.
Yeah,
at that point too. I'm also looking at the this is Baseball America and what they've got now. Now Mississippi State is a 3rd seed in the UCLA. The Big Ten.
Yeah,
Terry, does that hold up? I wonder. I mean, I don't think you do it on the basis of one game in the tournament, because frankly, Mississippi State, I know they fired the coach, but they finished the season in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they were like 8-1 going into today's game, so they've won 8 of their last 10. Yeah, they're safely in. I could buy them a 3 and not a 2. They're not going to host, I don't think, and particularly that loss. I think the Tennessee-Alabama game, the winner, I think, will definitely host if Tennessee goes on and holds on. I think if Alabama was to come back, I think that would put Alabama as a host. They'll be on the edge if Alabama goes on and loses. But they're both equally easily in the tournament. Real quick, ongoing game. North Alabama now bottom of the 8th, and UNF is the visiting team. So bottom of the 8th, UNF will get at least one more crack. UNF has closed it 13-11. UNF trying to keep their season alive, trailing 13-11. And for people that didn't hear, we reported Trinity Christian lost their state championship game today. Earlier today, noon first pitch, I believe it was, 7-2. Trinity Christian comes back as state runners-up, which is no small task. That's a nice accomplishment.
It sure is.
Didn't win it all. Brent, this probably only applies to me. I'm just not happy. Schools like Florida will always be considered football first. I get it. Alabama would fall in this category if they started winning basketball national titles as well. Yeah. But it bugs me that Florida basketball, they just will never be considered even a blue blood. They just, even though, think about this decade. No, I'm sorry, this century, right? Yes. Last 25 years. And that's a long, we're in 2025. Yeah. That's a long time.
It sure is. Oh, yeah.
UConn has won like 5 titles. Mm-hmm. And then Florida's right in the mix with Duke and North Carolina. But Florida, and the reason I bring this up, Joe Lunardi had a bracketology, basically with just about everybody now portaled and just only a few NBA guys. Florida's got one guy, Condon. But with Boogie Flan now, Joe Lunardi had Florida a 3 seed. And 3 seed would mean 4. You're somewhere in the top 12.
Yeah.
And I know it. But to me, if Condon comes back, Florida brings the best and deepest front court in America. They do. They've got a couple of really accomplished guards. I'm telling you, and this may not matter, but if that was Duke, North Carolina, or Kentucky, any and all 3 of those would be preseason 1.
Oh, yeah, easily. Yeah, I agree with that.
And by the way, he's got UConn, Houston, Purdue, and Duke right now as his ones. And I know this is silly. Florida's team they bring back beat UConn. They beat Houston.
Yeah.
But Florida is not considered a blue blood, and I think they will. I think Alabama would be in the exact same position if they started winning basketball. They wouldn't get Florida still doesn't get the recognition because they're not a blue blood basketball program.
No, they've got to do it. And look, if Condon comes back, I think they're 1 seed, frankly. And now I know Aberdeen not coming back hurt them, and him leaving. By the way, I did want to make the point. Do you see where Kevin Sampson? You mentioned Houston.
Yeah.
Got a nice contract and an extension, and man, he deserves that. That is as good of a club as anybody in the nation. Right
Boy, they play tough. They play his way, and they play tough. I want to go back though, and we'll get off this, I promise. But you look at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say, well, Florida lost Aberdeen, and then they lost their other guards.
Yeah,
they bring back so much. You realize he's still got Duke as a 1. Cooper Flagg is gone.
Right.
The other superstar on the team, Con Knippel, gone.
Yep.
The 7'2" foreign kid, gone. And Tyrese Proctor, the 5-star point guard, gone. But Duke is Duke, so they just say, well, they're going to be – they got great players coming in. It just bugs me. A program like Florida, even though you can't really put a monetary or a price tag on being ranked preseason 1, I think that would be big for Florida basketball.
It would be. Oh, yeah. Well, and again, who knows what that will be in September.
I know.
That can make a big difference. But, I mean, I certainly get your point. Florida deserves – I mean, right now if Conley comes back, a 3 seed would almost be an insult for this team.
If he does come back, that would be an insult. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I will when next season's basketball rolls around. Florida went 36-4 and won the national title. They will next year's Gator team. I would say right now will lose 7 or 8 games.
Oh yeah.
I think they'll be hunted hard. May take a little while into January to get things together. They probably won't go 36-4 again. If they won the title again, it's hard to do it. Did you see an interesting situation? And we knew this was going to happen while there aren't a lot of rules and regulations in the NIL. Did you see where Zakai Ziegler, a little point guard for Tennessee, who's played 4 years, 4 complete years. He's been at Tennessee 5, so he's done his 4 and 5. He's graduated, and he's petitioning for an extra year, and you can see why. He's a guy that's probably not going to play in the NBA.
No. Agreed.
So he's doing everything he can, and his argument is, don't punish me because I graduated in 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, what if it took me 5 years? I should get a 5th year to play 6th year to play 5. You know, but he's chasing that money. He wants to stay in college because he doesn't have an NBA career.
No. I he may end up in Italy or somewhere like that. But beyond that, he was a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I say this: when he played well, they played well.
He did. Yeah.
Too. But one thing you notice though, these guys who are petitioning to get another year or even suing the NCAA to get it, they have basically been awarded that.
Most of them have.
So because the NCAA is kind of is allowing that happen, and good for him if he comes back.
Brent, if you'll allow me, I want to read it. It's a bit of a long a paragraph here, but this was from an ESPN article about college football, and it said like 10 storylines you need to be aware of, and this was number 7, I think. 100 days to college football. This was several days ago. Top storylines. ESPN, and I want to give a writer by the name of Dave Wilson said this, and this was about the NIL, and you and I have been trying to explain, and I haven't done a great job. Right now, until the NCAA gets some teeth, and they need help to get teeth, it's not their fault, and put some guard. This is kind of a freebie era. We're going to look back and go, man, that NIL first 3 or 4 years, those guys really benefited because they could just go balls to walls. Well, here, I thought this guy made a good point here. And he says, schools such as Texas Tech have leaned into the NIL era with 20 incoming football transfers and standard deals for all players in multiple sports. But once the $2.8 billion House versus NCAA settlement is approved by the judge, the NCAA says it will begin new oversight of NIL compliance. with distribution of up to $20.8 million in revenue sharing allocated to be paid directly to players, the NCAA says it will take a closer look at NIL enforcement, with all deals of $600 or more subject to independent review, along with new tech platforms to monitor payments. Part of the settlement provides for the creation of a new enforcement entity for Power 4 schools. While the NCAA's record on enforcement in the past has been wildly inconsistent, many administrators still feel this will be the end of the pay-for-play deals that we've seen thrown around as a last gasp before the potential for the settlement and revenue sharing. I thought he did a good job explaining that we're kind of in this, hey, it's going to get better. They've got to get some teeth, which they're trying to get from the government. I thought that was a good explanation. You're kind of lucky right now if you're an athlete benefiting from the NIL Open right now.
Yeah, you're right. And see, my question on that is the NCAA going to hire that many more investigative and enforcement people?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they've got the manpower right now.
Well, what they would do, and don't forget who the NCAA is, the schools.
It is.
So what I would do if they said to me, I would go, okay, all you schools, Power 4, let's just talk Power 4. Okay, y'all all want enforcement. We've got a little teeth. But like you said, you want us to keep, an eye on this thing as best we can. We need to build a big old building, and we need to fill it with 1,000 people.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, you guys are all making gazillion dollars. We're passing the hat. Every one of you schools needs to kick in $2 million a year or $1 million, right? That's what I would. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, again, we're waiting on the judge.
Yeah.
Judge Wilkins' decision to come down. Basically, certainly, I don't know if it will be May and be more like June, but they've really got a goal of getting this thing up and going by July the 1st. So
yeah, and I, reading about that too, you've been harping on that. Well said. They same with the next format of playoff. It would enact in 2026, but they want it agreed upon going into 25. They want to have their they want to have the new format, hopefully 16. I was reading this morning. They're really trying to get this, like you said, get this thing going. They're meeting again in a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But they really want to have everything, hey, it's going to 16. They don't want to be halfway through 2026 and go, oh, yeah, we're going to 16 in 3 months.
My understanding is their deadline's like December the 1st.
Yes.
And that's when they've really got to get their ducks in a row. Now, here's a couple of things. You've got the House versus Nation payment that's coming down. You've got the new contract that is going to start in 2026, but they're meeting to figure out, do we want to tweak anything for 2025, which will be the seedings, and using their own top 25 to do the seedings, and if they can get that done.
Yeah.
Now, what also gets interesting with this is the fact of next Tuesday, and by the way, I've got 3 or 4 college football notes I need to pass on in a minute.
Absolutely.
But Terry, here's the reality: the SEC meets in Destin Tuesday.
Yes,
that's when it starts.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Yeah.
Yes. So they're going to be there. Now, this is not your usual, we're going to line by the pool and give everybody a big check meeting.
Yeah.
What's going on here is what we need to watch for is, are we going to go, and when are we going to go to the 9 SEC games?
Yeah.
They're at 8 now for conference games. That they're going to go 9. The reason this is important is, and I can't remember how long they're down there, but this is actually a meeting where now obviously the coaches are there and they meet, but see who also meets, the ADs are there, and even more important, the presidents are going to be there.
Wow.
Now when the presidents are there,
big deal.
You can get things done, right?
Yes, big deal.
So that's kind of where we are. And that's going to be the big thing hanging over these meetings, or can they get enough votes? And what I want to find out is, does that vote have to be unanimous, or does that just have to be a majority?
Majority, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, majority. How is it a majority needed? And not unanimous. And then you made a good thing. This. Boy, if the presidents are in fact there, boy, that speeds it up. Imagine your ADs all having to go back and then schedule time with their president to debrief the president on what. No, they're there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and see, here's the other part of it is, and you can use your business acumen with this. The TV contract again goes from, the new one is going from 26 to 31.
31, yeah.
So what they're going to do is, all this stuff coming down, House versus Nation, 9 SEC games, and they're as what Terry's talking about is, we're going from 12 to 16. I don't think there's any stopgap at 14, Terry. Do you?
No.
I think it's going. It's going straight there.
And that's the right thing. You and I have been saying it. They passed that exit. They passed that 14 exit, and they're gone.
Yep, that's right. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but the point here is, if they're going to 9, Terry, don't they have to get this going next year to fall in there? Because they see the reason they're going to 9 and agree to it now is, and this is where the presidents come in. They went to television. They've said, okay, if we go to 9, can we get more money? And my understanding is they have said yes. And I'm just telling you, for those presidents who would normally have said no, if they hear more money, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and ESPN's not dumb. They let it out. They let it out 2 weeks ago. Hey, if they add games, we probably got about 40 to 60 additional. Of course, that was done on purpose. 4 minutes left, Brent. One of your news and notes is probably Notre Dame, Wisconsin, 2026.
How about that?
In Lambeau. Didn't LSU play in Lambeau 10 years ago or so?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Leonard, and they what the bed. Leonard Fournette was on that team, and LSU played terrible against Wisconsin. I think that was in Lambeau. What else you got for us? 3 minutes.
Yeah. Now, I attribute this to Brett McMurphy. I'm sure you've seen this today.
Okay.
That Lee Corso's last headgear game will be in Tallahassee, not Ohio State.
Yeah. How about that?
So, and real quick, magazine update. Athlon slimmed down. I talked to an Athlon writer. It's going to be a 450-page review, not page review, 450-word preview and a 2 depth chart. Lindy's June 3rd for the National, June 17th for the SEC. Phil Steele goes to press on the 6th, and his is out on the 4th of July.
Can't wait.
So that, Terry, that's an update of really a lot of the major things going on right now.
Think about the trauma that guys like you and me have gone through. We have had to live through basically our beloved college football magazines slowly dwindling and losing favor. And you and I are from an era we loved the newspaper in our hands.
There's no doubt. And I still get one. My daughters laugh at me about that. Terry.
But there was something magical, especially that Sunday paper. You could kill 2 hours in Sunday morning with breakfast and going through the sports, the Metro, the front page, everything.
And I'm going to be at SEC Media Days. I'm going to ask around about this. I think if the economy goes the direction we think is going, which is going to be very positive, I tell you, Terry, I could see next year maybe a couple more guys getting in the magazine business.
Maybe. About the 9-game, we got 2 minutes, about a minute and a half. About the 9-game SEC, is it your thought process that the official announcement will maybe a summer or mid-football season going?
Yes.
That's going to come out in the next several months, I think, right?
Well, Terry, could you see that coming out on, they've got that reveal now in the middle of the season for the schedules for next year.
Yeah.
Could you see maybe it happening then?
Yeah, definitely. Real quick before we get out of here, Tennessee 15-6 over Alabama, bottom of the 8th. Right now, Alabama's ready to get on the bus and think about regionals. I don't blame them. UNF still fighting hard. They trail 14-11, top of the 9th. They've got to get at least 3 or their season will be over. JU does not play today. They won game 1 yesterday. And Brent, you're telling me looks like pretty good weather, and that affects Georgia is up next today, and then Florida tonight, and hopefully they both win. But Hoover might be weather kind this year, it sounds like.
That'd be unbelievable if it was. They don't see another storm system coming through, and they've had listen. My brother Brett, who does radio, my brother up in the Florence area, he and his wife were in the closet twice last night because of tornado warnings, and they've had to do that like 3 or 4 times the last couple of months.
That is tough stuff. Brent, great as always. Appreciate it. We'll try to visit and talk a lot of baseball and softball.
That's right.
On Friday, because, boy, softball super regionals kick off Thursday and Friday. Thank you, my friend. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy baseball. That's our buddy Brent Beard checking in as he does 3 times generally a week. That'll wrap it up. I want to thank Dr. Aaron Bates, of course, for coming on, and Casey Kurtz, our producer, as well. We'll get back together tomorrow, Thursday, live from Sliders Oyster Bar, 4 to 6 for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license.